Good day everyone. Our topic is reproductive physiology and broodstock management of Danki's ear abalone or Haliotis asinina. Together with my partner, Miss Kelly Castillo. To start this presentation, first is the reproductive system. In Haliotis asinina, the male and female reproductive system are anatomically almost identical. The main differences are the types of gonad, its color, and the gametes it produces. So Haliotis asinina is dioecious, meaning male and female reproductive organs occur in separate individuals. Both sexes possess single gonad located on the dorsal side of the visceral mass surrounding the digestive gland or the hepatopancreas. Next is the gonadal development. Their first stage is what we call florirative or the immature. So yung stage po na to is yung gonad are small, contains immature germ cell, and no distinct gonad color. So kumbaga sa stage po na to is hindi pa natin minsan na-identify if male ba or female yung isang abalone. And next is the premature developing. Is gonads is enlarged, medyo lumaki na po, gametes begin to develop, and gonad color begins to appear. So doon na-distinguish na natin yung male and female. And the third one is the mature, where gonads are fully developed, filled with mature eggs or sperm cell, and female have dark green to olive ovary and male cream to whitish testis. And next is the spawning or the ripe. So at this stage po is ready to spawn na yung mga abalone where mature gametes are released into seawater and gonad color remains distinct. And sa spent stage naman, ito yung after na ng spawning, where gonads are depleted after spawning and gonads shrink and begin recovery. So yun po, babalik po sila sa florirative or the immature stage, and yung green and cream colors is gradually faded. Next is reproductive strategy. So broadcast spawner. So ano nga ba ibig sabihin ng broadcast spawner? So yung broadcast spawner is nag-i-spawn yung male and female at ini-spread nila yung egg and sperm cell nila sa water. So dioecious meaning separate yung male and female. So pag naglabas na ng egg yung female, maglalabas na rin ng sperm yung male. So asynchronous gonadal development. And yung fertilization nila is external kasi lumalabas muna yung egg and sperm before mag-fertilize yung eggs. And as you can see with this picture na pinapakita nito yung life cycle ng abalone once na mag-meet na yung egg and sperm cell. So after fertilization, magiging trochophore larva na siya or the pre-swimming. Then after that is magiging veliger larva na sila. And after that is magpupunta na sila sa juvenile stage where yung larvae is magsasettle na sila sa settlement plates. And ayun, once na mag-mature sila, magiging adults na din sila. Next is the factors affecting the reproduction. Number 1 is water temperature. It regulates gonadal development and spawning. So sobrang importante din ng water temperature kasi isa yun sa cue, kumbaga, or yun na yung magsisignal sa mga abalone na they are ready for reproduction. And number 2 is food availability. So before spawning or the breeding season, yung mga abalone is kumakain sila ng maraming food para mag-create ng nutrients na to develop their gonads. So provide energy for gonad maturation and egg production. And number 3 is water quality. So it is suitable salinity, dissolved oxygen, and low pollution support success reproduction. So maganda ang water quality, maganda yung production and fertilization. And number 4 is lunar cycle and tides. So ano nga ba yung epekto ng lunar cycle and tides sa mga abalone? So help synchronize spawning among individuals. So number 1 is yung lunar. So yung lunar is yun yung signal, yung pinaka main cues nila na they are ready for reproduction. And yung tides naman is the more na mas malakas yung tides, for example, nag-spawn na yung male and female. So yung tides yung nagko-collide sa eggs and sperm cell to develop or to fertilize. And lastly is the body size and sexual maturity. Larger, mature abalones produce. So the more na mas malaki yung abalone is the more na mas marami silang nilalabas na eggs and sperm cells. So pero biologically speaking, yung abalone po, once na ma-reach nila yung 32 cm na size ng shell, is pwede na sila for reproduction. For reproductive physiology questions, is the question number 1 is, how does the reproductive strategy of your assigned species influence the way a hatchery should manage its breeding program? Provide at least 2 examples. To answer that question, ang Haliotis asinina ay the Yoshus at broadcast spawner. So meaning, hiwalay ang male and female, sabay silang nagre-release ng eggs at sperm sa tubig kung saan nangyayari yung external fertilization. So two-way kung saan nito naapektuhan ang hatchery management is number 1 is kailangan tama yung sex ratio. So kaya recommended na 4 females is to 1 male. Dahil sapat na yung sperm ng male to fertilize those eggs ng 4 females, and para mas marami ring larvae ang maproduce and maiwasan yung tinatawag na polyspermy. So dahil nga external yung fertilization ng species na to is and control environment sila, so iniiwasan yung polyspermy. So yung polyspermy is yung one egg is napafertilize siya ng multiple sperm from the male abalone. So yung nagiging result noon is nagiging abnormal yung larvae, and sa kalaunan is namamatay din yung eggs. And after that is the question number 2 is, suppose your assigned species show poor spawning performance even though water quality and nutrition within the recommended range. So to answer that question is, kahit okay yung water quality and nutrition, possible pa ring mahina yung spawning kung hindi pa sexually mature yung broodstock, o baka nasa immature or developing or spent stage pa yung gonads nila. So bago gumawa ng anumang corrective actions, i-check muna yung gonadal maturity ng broodstock. And sa Haliotis asinina, makikita ito based sa kulay ng gonad nila. And yung mature male ay color cream nga, and yung female naman is color green or dark olive yung color ng kanilang gonad or the ovary. So pwede rin gumamit ng non-lethal method tulad ng ultrasonography kung available. Kapag na-confirm na yung mga ito, or if mature na nga ba talaga, so saka ko sila ipagpapatuloy sa conditioning hanggang sa maging ready na sila for spawning. And lastly, among the reproductive characteristics of your assigned species like age, maturity, and spawning behavior, fecundity, fertilization type, or breeding season, which do you think represent the greatest challenge in hatchery production? So, to answer this question is, for me, ang pinakamalaking challenges ay ang asynchronous gonadal development ng Haliotis asinina. So, ibig sabihin, hindi lahat ng broodstock ay sabay-sabay nagmamature o nagiging ready mag-spawn. Kaya kahit nasa isang tank sila, may iba na mature na habang yung iba ay developing or nasa spent stage pa. Dahil dito, mahirap makuha ng sabay-sabay or i-release yung high quality ng eggs at sperm na pwedeng makaapekto sa fertilization at seed production. So, to address this, dapat regular i-monitor ang gonadal maturity ng broodstock at piliin ang mga nasa mature or ripe stage na bago isa-ilalim sa spawning. So, makakatulong to para sa tamang conditioning tulad ng magandang water quality, salinity, feeding, and maraming broodstock ang magiging ready for spawning ng sabay-sabay.
Ang ipapresent ko naman ngayon ay ang broodstock management ng Haliotis asinina o mas kilala bilang donkey's ear abalone. Una, ang scientific name nito ay Haliotis asinina. Male versus female. So, paano ba natin malalaman kung male or female yung abalone? Sa labas kasi, pareho lang talaga yung itsura nila. Ang ginagawa sa hatchery naman ay inaangat or binubuksan ng bagya yung shell para makita yung gonad na nasa ibabaw ng digestive gland or nasa dorsal side ng visceral mass. So, doon natin makikita yung pangunahing difference nila. Sa color, kapag cream or whitish yung gonad, male ito kasi testis ang meron siya. And kapag naman female, dark green hanggang olive green yung gonad. At ovaries naman, of course, yung meron siya. So, kahit halos pareho ang reproductive system nila outside, ang pinakaiba talaga ay yung type ng gonad, kulay nito, at kung sperm or eggs ang napoproduce. And pareho din silang naglalabas ng gamit sa gonopore during spawning. Sex ratio. Sa wild, halos 1 male is to 1 female ang natural na sex ratio ng Haliotis asinina. Pero sa hatchery, ang recommended ratio ay 4 females is to 1 male. Ang reason nito ay dahil ang isang male abalone ay kayang mag-produce ng napakaraming sperm, millions of millions. Kaya sapat na yon para i-fertilize ang eggs ng 4 or more pang females. Dahil nagre-release lang yung females ng hundreds of thousands of eggs. Mas dinadagdagan yung females para mas maraming eggs ang maproproduce, kaya mas mataas din ang magiging larval yield. Tsaka iniiwasan sa hatchery yung sobrang taas na sperm concentration dahil this results to polyspermy or yung maraming sperm ang sabay na nakakapasok sa isang egg na pwedeng magresulta sa abnormal embryo development. Kaya bukod sa tamang sex ratio, kinokontrol din yung dami ng sperm na ginagamit during fertilization. Next naman is the selection criteria. Sa pagpili ng broodstock, pwedeng gumamit ng wild-caught or hatchery-bred na abalones basta pasado sila sa mga criteria. Una, ang recommended shell size ay around 40 to 50 millimeters dahil ito yung ideal size para sa initial breeding stocks. And then pangalawa, dapat healthy at sexually mature na sila. Ibig sabihin fully developed na yung gonads at may mature eggs or sperm na, kaya ready na silang mag-spawn. Makikita rin na healthy ang broodstock kung active sila, normal kumain at mahigpit yung kapit sa settlement place or sa tank surface, at walang signal ng disease and shell damage or injury. Importante ang tamang pagpili ng broodstock kasi dito nagsisimula yung successful hatchery production. And kapag maganda naman yung quality ng broodstock, mas mataas yung spawning success, fertilization rate, at mas maganda rin yung quality ng larvae na mapoproduce. Next naman is conditioning. Bago ispawn yung mga broodstock, kailangan muna silang i-condition para maihanda sila sa reproduction. Nilalagay natin sila sa tanks na may continuous flow-through, sun-filtered seawater, and dapat may salinity na 28 to 32 parts per thousand. And then, pinapakain sila ng seaweeds na Gracilariopsis at ang amount ng feed ay 5 to 10% ng kanilang biomass. Nagbibigay lang ng pagkain every 5 to 7 days at bago maglagay ng panibagong seaweeds, inaalis muna yung mga hindi pa nakain para hindi maging pangit yung water quality. Ang feed ratio naman ay kino-compute gamit yung formula na number of abalone times average body weight times 10% 5 or 10% feeding rate and times 5 to 7 days. And then habang kino-condition sila, dapat may strong aeration gamit ang air stones para sapat yung dissolved oxygen, and regular din dapat yung paglilinis ng tanks. Binabrush dapat yung mga walls at bottom, and dapat sinasiphon ang feces at mga tirang seaweed. Ginagawa natin lahat to para mapanatiling healthy yung broodstock, maging fully mature yung gonads nila, at mas mataas ang chance ng successful spawning. For the interesting fact, ang Haliotis asinina ay isa sa mga priority species ng SIFDEC para sa stock enhancement dahil nababawasan na ang wild population dahil sa overharvesting. Nagproproduce ang hatchery ng juvenile abalones at nire-release ulit sa dagat para makatulong na maibalik yung natural population nila. For question number 1, if I could improve only one broodstock management practice to increase spawning success, I would prioritize broodstock conditioning. sisiguraduhin kong nasa tamang kondisyon ang mga broodstock bago sila ispawn by maintaining good water quality, tamang salinity, and sapat na aeration, continuous seawater flow at pagbibigay ng tamang amount ng seaweeds based sa 5 to 10% ng kanilang biomass. Mahalaga ang conditioning na to dahil nahahanda natin yung broodstocks para sa reproduction. Dahil kapag healthy at well-conditioned sila, mas magiging mature yung gonads nila at mas maganda ang quality na eggs at sperm na maproproduce. Mas mataas din yung chance na sabay-sabay silang mag-spawn, kaya tataas ang fertilization rate, hatching success at mas maraming healthy larvae or seed ang mapoproduce. For question number 2, between the two potential broodstock, pipiliin ko si broodstock B kahit mas maliit siya. Mas pipiliin ko si broodstock B dahil mas importante yung overall health at reproductive condition kaysa sa size lang. Una, healthy siya at walang deformities, injuries o anumang senyalis ng disease. Pangalawa, kung sexually mature na siya at fully developed na ang gonads, ibig sabihin ready na siya for spawning at makakapag-produce ng high-quality eggs o sperm. Pangatlo, kung active siya, normal kumain at mahigpit ang kapit sa tank o settlement plates, indikasyon ito na nasa mabuti siyang kondisyon. So kahit mas malaki si broodstock A, maaaring makaapekto ang physical deformities sa overall performance niya bilang broodstock. Sa hatchery kasi, mas priority dapat ang health, maturity at normal behavior dahil mas malaki yung epekto nito sa fertilization success at sa quality ng magiging offspring kaysa sa size lang. Question number 3. Kung mataas ang fertilization at hatching rate pero mababa pa rin ang survival ng fry, isang possible broodstock related cause ay ang hindi magandang quality ng broodstock. Posibleng successful yung fertilization at hatching pero kung yung broodstock naman ay kulang sa nutrition, stress o hindi pa fully matured, maaaring mababa pa rin yung quality ng eggs at larvae. Dahil dito, mahina ang larvae at mas mababa yung survival rate habang lumalaki sila. So para mas ma-improve ito, dapat mas maging mahigpit sa broodstock selection. Dapat piliin natin yung mga healthy, sexually mature, disease-free at active na broodstock na may fully developed gonads. Mahalaga rin yung tamang broodstock conditioning bago spawning sa pamamagitan ng pagbibigay ng red seaweed which is their preferred diet, pagpapanatili ng magandang water quality, tamang salinity, sapat na aeration at regular na tank maintenance. Sa ganitong paraan, mas mataas ang quality ng eggs at larvae, kaya mas marami ang makakasurvive hanggang sa seed stage. This is all for our presentation. Thank you.